Welcome to the Port Charles Update with your hosts, Mish and Nelle. Hello.
And we're back. Hello.
Oh, yes, we are. So I guess I lied or I didn't know that I lied. So last time I said we were going to miss 1 week and it was only 1 week, but I didn't know what was happening and neither did Mel. And she only told me that later. So she was packing that first Friday, which it would make sense for her to not squeeze in the podcast when she had to pack. But then she ended up leaving Friday, like the following Friday, and it would have been way too much to get home and then watch and record after like traveling for the day. So it was two podcasts missed.
But it's on me. We extended our trip because we had such a lovely time visiting. I know you guys weren't a part of it, but it was so worth it, guys.
Yeah, the break was really nice. And so we're back.
Back street.
Watching.
Let's start.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm like, no, I'm obviously not boycotting, but I didn't really post the past couple days because I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, man, exactly. I'm like, oh.
I feel ya.
I'm like, what do you want me to say more than this? This is ridiculousness. So I just backed off for my literal own sanity and just had a fun day in the city instead. Okay, so look, guys. Rocco found out. Rocco found out because Danny picked up some folders and looked at them all. Mind you, there was one that didn't look like all the other folders.
True. One of these things just didn't belong there.
Yeah. And I mean, when you think, and I mean, we saw this weeks ago when she was constantly hiding the folder. Yes. And we're just like, well, that's not where you hide your like vengeance folder. You don't hide it with the other.
In plain sight.
Oh, no, Mel. You don't hide your vengeance folder with your deception folder. So funny. Okay. So Rocco confronts Lulu and immediately she's like, oh my God, I haven't parented you like since I woke up, so I don't know what to do. And so she immediately calls Dante to come over to have this talk, right? How was it for you to watch Lulu experience someone stepping into her life and for information to come out not the way that it should have, like not in the best way, because she wanted to handle it herself?
Okay, so there was such a roller coaster of emotions for me because I was happy it happened to her, but watching her just makes me also feel a lot of rage in the way that she responds to things and how she humans and holding on to this fact that she just woke up from a coma. It's like, no, you woke up from a coma, you meddled in somebody's life and ruined multiple lives, and you said, you know what, my life, I'm just gonna press pause right now, and like you said, not gonna parent. So I'm watching this and so beyond frustrated and seeing, I mean, they answered his questions fairly good enough for the moment itself, but I absolutely love that he's like, yeah, I'm not good enough. I know who to call to get real answers from.
Pretty much. And I mean,
like, do you feel?
Well, Rocco had a moment like weeks ago with Brook Lynn where he kind of went to her with a very, narrow-minded approach on the whole thing. Like, and really nonchalant about it. Like,
right?
It's because of you. Like, you're bad. My dad's amazing. Can you help? Like, it was odd. It was odd. And all of a sudden, this is really, really interesting because you have this kid who we saw how he handled the Geo thing. He glossed over a lot. He didn't like question too much. He was immediately siding with his dad. My dad's amazing. Why would Brook Lynn do that? And you watched it and you're like, okay, these are like bullet points. He's a kid, whatever. But now it's interesting watching Rocco go through something and we're seeing him really expanding on his perspective because his whole ideas of everything has completely blown up finding out this truth.
Yes.
And so now he has to question things. Like he's not going forth with this news with the same mentality he has because he's shook, right? And that's so fascinating considering, we know Lulu is like blind. You know what I mean? Like Lulu's like perspective is extremely narrow and no matter how many life experiences she has, it doesn't allow for further perspective taking. She just has a limited view and that's it. It's very black and white.
Absolutely.
And, Dante, I love Dante, but he does have his moments of rigidity, of seeing things a certain way and being a little inflexible. He also has that. So that's also what I found interesting, is that while Dante and Lulu don't necessarily see things, like see Brook Lynn the same, and even though like Dante is rigid in his own right, he is, let's say, more flexible than Lulu is.
Yes.
So now you have those two people trying to face Rocco, explain things. And I mean, I get it, from where they're coming from, like they were gonna get to it.
It was on the to-do list, guys.
Right? But then Rocco immediately brings up to both of them, I can't believe you judged Brook Lynn the way that you did, knowing what secrets you were keeping.
It's not the same, Mish. It's not the same.
Exactly. I was like, it just reminded me of Friends, Ross and Russ.
Yeah.
You guys are as different as night and later that night.
Absolutely.
So that was really interesting for me in terms of like Rocco's character, because literally this is the same house where he found out about the whole Geo thing. He had a conversation with his parents, and like I said, it was very choppy, and he didn't say much or even question how or why the news came out because of his mom. Right? Like that was all glossed over. So it's really interesting having a different conversation, this time focused on Rocco, and watching Rocco actually be a little bit more inquisitive and showing just more critical thinking and making comparisons a little bit more. And for me, that was just really interesting to watch him expand on his thinking. So yeah, so you have that whole thing, and Dante immediately knew where Lulu was headed.
Yes.
So many things annoyed me in a row. Okay, so before Lulu even gets there, Cody and Brook Lynn finally have a conversation. I can't begin to explain. There, like you pointed out earlier, you said Lulu kind of did something that affected so many lives. Okay, the least significant life affected in this whole story was absolutely Cody. Okay, he is the least significant character in this whole storyline, least affected. Like, none of this impacts you. Like, the fact that he had the nerve to go to Brook Lynn, like, oh my gosh, you lied after I gave you a ride. She was 16, you were 16, and she actually did tell you. She told you she was pregnant, and you inferred the rest. And now you want to blame her. You should have told me you actually had the baby and gave it up for adoption, because, because then it's like I lied to Dante, like I didn't know. Like, I'm just like, wait a second. Cody, what exactly are you saying? You wanted to know this so that you could tell Dante? Do you not know that you could have told Dante she was pregnant? Like, you had information that you could have divulged, and you opted not to. All because you assumed it was taken care of. Like, you didn't ask follow-up questions. She confided in you. You accepted that confidence, and then you gave her a ride. Like, she did not... Like, you're not involved in this.
No, not at all.
And I found that, like, Brook Lynn was pretty gracious.
Yes, that is a nice way of putting it.
Instead of just saying, like... This has so much not to do with you. Like, I can't even begin to describe how little this has to do with you. And yes, we're friends, but you absolutely don't have the right to be mad at me based on your own assumptions and have that be reason to team up with someone who had ill intention and try to say, oh, it's because of Dante. Again, you could have went to go talk to Dante if you wanted to. You didn't have to participate in Lulu's scheme. Even more, he could have just went to go talk to Brook Lynn. Hey, Lulu's coming at me with this information. What's going on? Like, it looked like Cody understood the night of the nurse's ball when he was sitting with Lulu. Like, he seemed to kind of go like, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't have handled it this way. Where did that guy go?
And this is the hard part for me, and I can feel it through the TV that you feel it too, watching every single day this week. We were hoping for Brook Lynn to get support and to be seen in a very specific way, and that I'm just being slopped in the face every single day of how ridiculous everybody else's involvement and opinions are.
Did you just say slapped in the face?
I did.
Did you see the reel where that's all it is? It was Johnny's idea. He's like,
Fantastic.
They should just be slapping each other over and over.
Fantastic.
And that's what I did. Okay, so she deals with Cody, and then they have this like cute 4th of July crew where they had the saddest reminiscing of all time.
That's so funny.
Cody's like, I had come out as Mac's son. So Sasha, you and me, we stopped the cousin thing, the
Done,
cousin
done.
romance.
Yeah.
And then Michael's like, yeah, that's when like Willow and Drew's affair started. It was so insane. It was really depressing. And Brook Lynn was like, and my son was living under the same roof as me. Anyways, everybody has their reasons for leaving. And then freaking Lulu shows up. And I was just like, ew. Like, that's what I mean. Like, Lulu talks about all the time she's lost. But since she's woken up from her coma, even before the Geo storyline began, she was constantly finding reasons to insert herself into Brooklyn's life. Constantly.
Yes.
And it's just gross. And it's like, your son just found out something devastating. And unlike Brook Lynn, she doesn't have the option to like go upstairs and talk to her son about it.
Yeah.
And help process or whatever, or just be there. She doesn't have that luxury. But Rocco's right there, and you choose to leave the house to get in that slap you didn't get to get at Maxie's. Because that's all this was about. You
100%.
didn't even need much. Like, she was so riled up and angry and screaming. And it's way more than Brook Lynn has ever done, given what Lulu did. And while we laugh because, like, this thing is happening to Lulu and it's the same, it's, like, the same and it's not the same. It's sort of like how they did the Nina-Carly comparison, right? Because Nina was really insufferable for a really long time. And they compared where she hid Sonny for 9 months from his family. And then Carly comes in hiding Nina's daughter. And it's that thing where that person, like Lulu and Nina's character at the time, and we have this, right, in the soap. Like, we have these types of characters, that the self-righteous ones, right? And when the self-righteous ones do something wrong, they just obviously can't accept that they did anything wrong, and they feel like it's so unjustified, compared to like the other, let's say, air quote, villains, because, you know, in their minds, I am like always in the right, and I definitely don't fit into this category of villain. And so it's like, in that scene, it was really nuanced, right? Because Carly basically did something really similar of what Nina did, but the response was so different.
Exactly.
And someone like Nina would never understand why this could happen. Like, she couldn't fathom. Like, I could do what I did, but I cannot fathom how this could have happened to me. And I think when you see Lulu show up and be angry, I didn't necessarily see someone that was fully mad because their son got hurt. I saw someone who was like, yes, I get to be in this position where I get to be aggressive and a jerk, but like, I'm in the right on this one. Because, you know what I mean? Like, she had to fight Brook Lynn when she was on the other side. But now that something happened to her, it was just license to go to town on Brook Lynn, basically.
It was. And again, you know, that whole Nina comparison is that Rocco is basically an object. Like you said, she had a choice to stay at home and comfort her son, bake him cookies, whatever, be a mom in her household. And she chose to leave him there and go and do something to harm Brook Lynn or escalate the situation or get out her aggression, right?
To make it about Brook Lynn. And that's the thing for me, because like again, all of us watching this, it's kind of hard because you're watching Lulu get all riled up and it's like, what? Like, hi, like a week ago. Like, do you not remember all the stuff you said a week ago about the truth and stuff?
You should send her the reel you made.
I know. And it's like when Brook Lynn said, you know, that was none of your business. You had no right. Again, out of her mind. So when I was watching this, I'm like, oh, there's so much here. And I don't know what to do. And it was like Brook Lynn also saying it's like you're talking to yourself. Yes. And I'm like, she is. And then I had so much fun trying to match Lulu having a fight with herself, because there's nothing more to say than all the things that Lulu has said, because she's had said all the things on the full range. On both sides, she has said it. So I think for me, that was really cathartic to just watch the reel and have Lulu say all the things and just confirm that I'm not crazy. This is insane. And also just her level of aggression was over the top.
Yes.
And the fact that, like, she says this to Brook Lynn as though it means anything. She's like, this is unforgivable. And I'm like, okay, who cares? It's neither here nor there. You're acting like you have a relationship with Brook Lynn. Why would it matter to Brook Lynn whether you forgive her or not. You literally stood in Maxie's living room. The whole point was for you guys to hash things out and at the very least learn to be civil for the people that you love. And when you had a chance to apologize, you just said, no, I would never apologize to you. Actually, Nina had said that. Remember when she came back from Nixon Falls and saw Carly? She said, I will apologize to Sunny's 9th grade math teacher, but I will never apologize to you. And I was like, damn, that's such a good line. Because of the hatred, right? And a lot about Sunny and everything was always driven by Carly. And you see that here with Lulu and Brook Lynn. It's just that they have a history, right? Whereas Nina and Carly didn't. A lot of the hatred toward the Carly character, when you have newer characters coming on the show, is the fact that by the time the new characters are coming on the show, they don't know, they didn't get to, they didn't witness pariah Carly. Right? Yes. So everybody coming, like the newer characters, they're witnessing Carly at the better end of her life. Because I've been watching a lot of old clips, especially with like a lot of similarities coming up. And like if you go back and look at the ones where Carly has Michael, for instance, oh man, like postpartum, especially around Sasha too. Again, I was looking back at old clips, but like Sasha, the way like her postpartum is handled, like right now, it's almost like they're belittling her feelings, right? Like maybe it's postpartum, but they're being sensitive around the fact that postpartum and mental health issues exist. And then when you're looking back into when Carly had Michael, and let's remember, we all know that soap operas years ago, it was way, way, way harsher. Way harsher.
Yes, absolutely.
Gosh, it's like, you know how in today's scene, Anna said to both of them, let's not wield female stereotypes.
Yes.
Okay, so basically you have a lot of women weaponizing the fact that Carly abandoned her child and kept flinging around postpartum very flippantly. Right, you're postpartum.
Wow.
The level of like, it was pretty vile, the way that like a female character would get spoken to and just a lot of those stories. And when you fast forward today and they talk about like the Carly character, it's like, she was a pariah for a very long time. Like you should see all the clips where like everyone hates her, and especially because of her relationship with Jason. And I've said it, when Jason returned and we were watching these newer years of General Hospital, and with Jason's return, I was like, oh wow, their relationship appears more mutual. And it's because if you look back at the old episodes, a lot of the female characters, it's all about like, it's very stereotypical, like you're obsessed with him and it's all one-sided, and it is a bit painted that way. And when like he came back, that friendship was definitely portrayed more balanced, where you saw him reiterating, his love for her and his respect for her and what she brings to the picture way more consistently than I think from before. So the whole reason I'm kind of bringing up that whole pariah and Carly thing, it's that her character evolved. She's not the same character she was back then, but she holds a little bit of that. We could say the same for Ava. Ava retains her Ava-ness, and she does kind of go back to her old ways every now and again. But even though Ava fits into the category of villain, we can easily say Ava's character has grown.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ava's not delusional. You know what I mean? Like, she's never twisting reality to justify something. Sometimes she'll side with Carly on certain things. And other times she's like, I don't like her and I'm doing this just to spite her. And I really appreciate that, because whenever she throws her venom, she's not hiding it, she's owning it.
Absolutely.
And so when you come to a character then like Lulu, the self-righteous category of characters, they don't grow.
No, they never grow, never own.
They don't grow. They just sort of stay like that. And even if you look at Emma's character, it's so funny because like the way Emma looks at Joss is very similar to how Lulu looks at Brook Lynn. She sees her in a certain way and she feeds off of anything that aligns with it. And even if it doesn't align with it, she twists it all up in her mind. And even with Emma, it doesn't take much to manipulate her because the way she looks at Jocelyn is so limited and her view is so limited. So you never have to worry that she's going to catch critical thinking and catch on to you. Like, you never have to worry about that. And so the thing about like when I was talking about Carly and the Avas and the Ninas and everybody being jealous of the support she has, again, did not see her, like, they weren't present for the origin story. And they tend to use her origin story like against her to justify, let's say, their bad behavior that's currently active. And so when you look at that, those women, they don't have a history. And so what's bizarre with Lulu and Brook Lynn is that like they actually have a history. And so, given that they have a history, the only thing that can explain her obsession with Brook Lynn is Dante.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so, like, when I look at that, I'm like trying to understand, like, jealous. Like, what do you mean? Like, yes, she was. She was jealous of the relationship Brook Lynn had with Olivia,
Yes, absolutely.
with Dante. And I would say that, like, beyond that, there was nothing really to be jealous of because the Brook Lynn character, she was always a bit of a mess. She was young, and a lot of her growth happened while Lulu was in a coma.
That's very true. She didn't see any of it. I don't know if that would have even made a difference, though, to be honest.
No, 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 it doesn't. And I think for her, it's like she likes to say that she's entitled. Again, so is like Lulu. Lulu has access to the similar privileges because like Tracy would do anything for her, and her mom's the mayor. So you can't walk around
Exactly.
being like, you have privilege, you know, like your mom's the mayor, your cousin owns a hotel. And so like when I look at that, I think she's upset because you know, like she always saw her as a villain, and maybe it's also the fact that she got a chance to evolve, but for whatever reason, she's fixated on her. And she even admitted that she lost and missed out a lot while she was in the coma, and she was taking it out on Brook Lynn. And she felt like that was okay.
So messed up. Beyond
So,
messed up.
and like the funny thing to me is when you think about Dante being the source of it all, because she's all going to Brook Lynn, who again, she don't care about you, being like, this is unforgivable. Like it's so funny what constitutes unforgivable. You know, it was unforgivable that when she was really young and dumb and really desperate for money, that she seduced Dante to get a paycheck. But it's not unforgivable that an adult Carly, your cousin, paid her to do it. And it's certainly not unforgivable that Dante slept with your cousin. You know what I mean? Like you're mad that Brook Lynn unsuccessfully seduced Dante, but you could forgive your cousin successfully seducing Dante and Dante sleeping with her.
I forgot about that.
So it's just a lot to take in. But what did you think about this moment? The moment where Gio steps in and Lulu takes the time to really twist the knife, bring Gio in it, and point out what Brook Lynn did. You
See,
know what
like,
I
this is
mean?
it just infuriates me because nobody witnesses the
No.
Lulu side of things. Everybody condones her behavior and feels sorry for her, and it's so frustrating. And when I saw Gio there and his cute little sad face that he makes all the time now, she just devastated him even further. So her relationship with Rocco, like truly nothing really changed. Like he's gonna be a little curious and he's asking questions. He didn't leave home. He's not running away from home anyways just yet. He's not disowning her. Like her situation is really different. She knows what Brook Lynn is going through, much less Dante, and she just made things 10 times worse.
Well, that's the thing though, like that to me is the only reason her reaction was so escalated and how aggressive her screaming was compared to like when Brooklyn would confront her is because it's not as consequential. You know what I mean? Like
Yes,
it's not as
yes.
big, so she compensated by having a bigger reaction to make them look on par when they're really not. You know, the bigger reaction, it's sort of like, look how terrible it is. So you have Dante coming in to like confront Brook Lynn. What I thought was interesting though is that throughout the week, she kind of divulged to some trusted people, I believe maybe Cody and Michael, what her plans, or was it just Maxie, what her plans were and didn't go through with it. So you have some trusted allies there because I'm like, why are you making a point of making sure there's some people who know, you know what I mean? So I look at it a little bit like having a little bit of allies to kind of support the fact that like Brook Lynn didn't move forward all gung-ho, all thoughtlessly. She actually stopped, reflected. So that's also the nuance between Brook Lynn and Lulu is that
Yes.
she is sorry. She does have regret. She can acknowledge her faults, and that's not something that Lulu can do. And while Dante is so busy saying, how could you hurt my son? Like Lulu is continuing to harm and impede their relationship with Gio by coming up and being representative of the one who tells the truth,
Yes.
you know, and again, hurting like Gio by adding on to crap about Brook Lynn. But again, she'll never see it that way. You know, she feels very, very justified. And at this point, the only thing giving me hope is that she actually will struggle with her relationship with Rocco. Like when he was talking to Laura. So again, I thought Laura was going to like confront Lulu a little bit more. But the
I
fact that
know.
she was like, oh, come here, little girl. You know, I was like, her little one. She called her little one. I'm like,
Yes, she
yeah, there you
did.
have it. That's why she's not saying too many adult things to her. she's giving her what she can handle. But when they were talking privately, and Rocco said, because she was asking him how he felt, and he felt like that they didn't want him.
Yes.
And I was surprised at the question. She's like, where is that coming from? She asked, like, why do you think that is? And I was like, oh, wow. And so I was actually surprised that Rocco didn't say more on that. I thought he would touch on the Charlotte thing, that it's not an unfamiliar feeling or something like that. But, and he even reached out to, like you said it earlier, that he called someone for real answers, but he even reached out to Jason. Like you said, he's asking questions, and we saw it today. Yeah, look, he took Laura's advice. And he is asking questions, just not to them.
I love that. Okay, wait, did he ask the question, and maybe it happened and I didn't register it, of how long he was actually with Britt?
Well, I don't know, but I do think it came up in terms of, like, how long before they got him back.
Okay, because I was just curious to know.
I think so.
Because, the way he wrote that email to Brook, which I'm so excited if she comes back, even for a little while, to see him and to talk to him. What was that time like? Like, I think that part is so interesting, that little in-between time.
Well, she took him too. She kidnapped him too. Yeah. It's like in some of the old clips. It's in some of the old clips that I had found that I think when the news came out, like, she just left with Ben. Because one of the times she kidnapped Ben, like, Britt wasn't in on it.
Right. Okay.
So this is so funny. And I thought it was interesting him calling Jason and actually having this gray conversation, because given who his parents are, we're not seeing those talks. The most talks he ever has is always with Laura, and she's so spectacular.
She is.
The way she is with, like, her grandkids and the younger cast and stuff like that when she has talks with them. And I loved it because we just saw Lulu feeling like on top of the world, that she could say whatever she says. But look how she doesn't pull that crap with Jason. She tried, but he leaves zero room for it, which is why I get so annoyed that Brook Lynn leaves room for it. It's just get out. Like, you should, like, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes I'm like, why do you engage? Why do you explain? It's not worth it for her. Like, just tell her to leave. Like, don't engage is sometimes what I wish Brook Lynn would do. But I love that, like, Jason stood his ground. But yeah, Rocco is really, really curious. And he seems really, really curious about Britt. And it looks like there's a part of him that is looking for Britt and Obrecht to kind of be the good guys in this. So it's interesting that, like, to see Rocco this way, going into the gray and the soapy life and kind of breaking out of his bubble of just his little family. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know how Rocco's character would kind of evolve over time. I always just figured, okay, you have the younger cast, at some point he'll have an adult storyline. But, like, I feel like this is one of his, like, first storylines. It's just him. That's so exciting.
It is. I love that. I love that they're kind of digging into his character. Like, yes, we have the whole Sam situation, which that was so hard to hear, in the sense of how Laura was talking about how miracles come to be, and it's not always a straight path, but she said it perfectly. But yes, I love that they're digging into it, and this is our opening, because Britt is supposed to make her debut in this month.
Could you imagine what it's like for Britt? Because that's the thing. Like, I'm assuming she's going to come back as Britt, or alive, for one.
Yes.
We made her into a hologram. She's a robot. Like, because, like, I remember how Britt hated that they changed his name from Ben to Rocco. And I don't think she thought in a million years, you know what I mean, for this moment where Ben kind of comes back to her in some shape or form, because I had posted in the stories, like, as much as we're having this conversation about who Britt is to him, I remember Cody was getting closer to Britt, which brought Britt back into Dante's circle.
Yes.
And they were all together in front of that elevator. And I remember thinking, how weird is this? Is she going to be spending more time with the Quartermains? And Rocco's always there. And she even said, hi, Rocco. And I remember Dante having a reaction because it was like the giant elephant in the room.
Right?
So I found all of it kind of funny. But yeah, I just didn't think it would go this way in terms of, like, what the damage would actually be. Because as Brook Lynn said, and even Emma, like, everyone knows. Like, everybody knows. Like, it's not, like, even Laura was like, yeah, so what about Britt? Like, it didn't even occur to her because everybody knows. And how this
Exactly.
child didn't find out before now? I mean, even when Britt died, how? How is nobody's like, oh, remember that time, Ben? You were in her belly. Like, how did that not come up when there was all this Brit love? And I love how Lulu was like, she's a horrible person. She was nothing more than she was that many years ago. And that one action she did specifically toward me, she's nothing more than that. She never existed or lived beyond that moment. Her picture is hanging in GH. You know what I mean? Like, if she was so
Right?
horrible, it wouldn't be hanging there. I mean, it's gonna get interesting, that's for sure. And I definitely look forward to Britt coming back, especially if it upsets Lulu.
Right there with you. I need more damage to happen in Lulu's life. I need her to be faced with such adversity that she actually takes a second to figure out how ridiculous she is.
I don't know. I don't know that she can do that, but I would like her to go away from Brook Lynn just for a little bit and focus on other
Yeah,
things. But do you
agreed.
think that, like, do you think she'll blame Brook Lynn for Rocco contacting Obrecht?
Of course she will.
Okay, just asking. Man. And then the other side of things, okay? You have like all of this Lulu stuff, and basically Chase is the fans.
He is. I love him so much.
So you have Michael who's understanding. You have Dante who gets angry and then makes a little bit of space and is compassionate. But Chase is like the embodiment of exactly how the fans think. Like, he's able to like itemize all of Lulu's behavior and everything about it that was wrong, beyond just like the Geo stuff. Like, he's getting all of those little things in. So I kind of love him for that. I do worry for him. I do worry for him so much because
Yeah,
he
why?
makes the point of telling Tracy at the end, there's nothing she could do to push me away, but I bet there's
I know.
someone she could do that would push him away. Because as soon as he says that, they transition to a Brook Lynn Dante hug.
Man,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want that to
I
happen.
don't want that to happen either, but it's the Quartermain household. People are meant to cheat. I just thought, okay, the Michael Willow did that, so can we leave that alone? Like, to me, I felt that Brook Lynn and Chase were like sacred. You know, though they talk so much about working for their relationship and the healthiness of them all, that I kind of felt like, okay, so they're gonna live happily ever after, and you're never gonna mess that up, please.
Right?
But yeah, like I think we can expect Dante to soften and get closer to Brook Lynn, maybe?
Maybe. Okay, I would like soften, but not like in bed. Like I just want them to be friendly and cordial and respectful, and for him to just put away his Lulu-ness that just keeps coming out since she got back out of her coma. You know what? When Brook Lynn slapped her last time, and maybe I even said it last time, I wish he had slapped her back into her coma. I know that sounds terrible, but it was funny as
Oh, a lot
hell.
of people are making coma related remarks, but it's just so funny because the words you're using, you're making me think about some very specific people. You're like, I hope everything can be done respectfully. And I'm like, immediately, I'm like, Curtis, Portia, like Jordan. Man, okay.
Gannon, Dr. Gannon in the mix
So
too.
everyone voted, right? We asked who is going to cheat first. Like, that's just, we all know it's going
Yeah,
to happen. And a
it's
lot
gonna
of people
happen.
voted for Portia and Isaac. And the fact that they're both at this bar, I'm thinking that's gonna go down first. But like, I'm having mixed feelings about Portia. Jordan is like, she's my favorite action hero. She's like the best. I love her.
Yes.
Like, I want to be her when I grow up. And I love it. I love that when Jordan talks, she never denies her feelings. But again, this was the nuance you notice in the Nixon Falls storyline. You can have feelings, but you can simply not act on them. And Jordan is doing that. Like, we're watching the most adult way to deal with feelings on a soap opera I've ever seen.
Honestly.
You know, like, she's so honest about her behavior, even if Portia delivers the message in an awful way. So, again, love Jordan. She's doing all the right things, saying all the right things. Curtis, obviously not. Like, he doesn't know what the right thing is at all, despite how righteous he tries to be. And so, I feel two ways about Portia. Okay? Like, obviously, I think, like, look, like, you're doing the opposite of what you kind of want. You know what I mean? But at the same time, can you blame her though? Because she is reacting to pretty real stuff, things that Curtis won't admit, and then he won't seem as righteous, right? She's not wrong for picking up vibes.
Okay, I totally agree, but I'm also very angry at her for the things that are going on. But yeah, she's not wrong.
She's not wrong, but she is wrong about Jordan. Jordan is not trying to
Gosh,
act
no.
on, on her feelings. That's total projection of what she did to Jordan
Yes.
completely. But of course, Jordan has feelings and she's picking up on that. But I feel like she's putting a lot of her anger she has in Curtis toward Jordan, even though
Yes.
she is expressing some anger toward Curtis. And that's the thing, like, as much as like all her actions are blatantly wrong, like manipulating him into like affection in the
That
office.
was wild.
My gosh, her constant looks, like thinking that if you fight off Jordan, you're gonna win your man. It's like, no, like you can fight off all the women you want. Like your husband is very minimally interested in you. And so that part sucks. But like part of me is like, yeah, like I don't like the way that you're treating Jordan and all of this. And even like though Curtis feels wronged and manipulated, which he was, and he was lied to, which he was, he does like to hold on to things that people do to him that are wrong and really milk it.
Yeah, big time.
But even though Portia's acting out, part of me is like, there are times where you're like, yeah, yeah, I get it. Like when she's like the fact that she's so mad and there's a part of her that's confident enough to really call Curtis out. It's weird because I'm like, I'm not the biggest fan, but this is kind of super interesting to me because I'm like, yeah, like you're nailing him. For so long you've tiptoed around him and she's finally like saying what she's got to say, right? Because at this point she has nothing left to lose. He's
Exactly.
so vocal about how he feels about her that now she doesn't have to tiptoe, and that makes it really interesting for me.
It does. It what keeps me in the storyline because if not, I would have
Yeah.
lost interest a long time ago. I mean, we still watch for the podcast, but I would have zoned out mentally. But this definitely keeps it interesting because there's some back and forth, and sometimes I feel she's us, just like jabbing a little bit, like, yeah, no, I did
Yeah.
something wrong, but you're no angel, sir.
It's kind of like peeling off the layers and watching Portia get a little bit real. Even though she's still a little delulu about herself, she is getting the realest she's ever been. She's always so polished. So it's interesting to watch her this way. And also, what I don't like is you went to Ava about your crime. Elizabeth is your good friend. You didn't tell Elizabeth about your crime, but you are going to encourage her to date the man that's dating Ava.
I know, it's so bad.
Rick
So
is
bad.
terrible, and thankfully Lucas pointed that out. He's like, unless Aunt Ava, like something about gouging his eyes out or something, but it's like, what is with that level of disrespect? Asking to take Elizabeth to Ava's gallery opening.
So bad. Like, what is he doing? He's acting like just like a little desperate teenage boy.
Yeah, like he's not hiding his little crush on Elizabeth at all. And then he gets angry if he watches Cody flirt with her. And
Yes.
Cody did that impeccably, keeping
Amazing.
Elizabeth busy, messing up her thing and watching Rick go to her and then using that moment to kind of deal with Ava. It was amazing.
Genius.
Amazing.
Genius.
And they kissed.
I know. I was shocked because I'm like, okay, so he's going for it. And she didn't. I loved her reaction because it was so perfect and so on point. Like, you're hot. I like this, but I must not.
She's saying all the right words that her body
Yes.
can't say. I'm just like, Cody, you totally mistold that story. He's like, oh my God, I kissed her and then she slapped me. I'm like, first of all, that's not a slap. I need to compare her slap to the
Oh my
other
God.
slaps
There
of
was
this
no
week.
sound. There was no sound.
She like tapped him and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay,
She just
Ava,
wants to
losing.
touch and caress his face.
I'm like, honestly, I just think it's a preview of what she likes. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
because just like, Ava's having fun. She's not actually like saying, bad Cody. She's not. Like, I don't know what that was, but it absolutely was not a slap. And I'm like, wait, why did you tell Kristina, like, I kissed her, she kissed me back, she said it was so good, she mildly touched my cheek and then asked me to stay. Like, hello?
That was so good.
But he's going to be successful at in seducing just everybody. So he has that whole meeting with Kristina, and then Molly comes in, and I'm like, seriously, Kristina, are you late to this, realizing that Molly has a crush on him?
She is. She's in her revenge plot phase.
But were you not taken aback of how on the same page Alexis and Kristina were? Just cheersing and Alexis being on board with this vengeance plan?
Yeah, it was weird. I didn't understand. It confused me.
Well, I'm just saying, it just highlights like Alexis is a mess for all the being on Kristina. Like you're one and the same. Like Molly's a part of her, but to be honest, a freaking small part because she's more of a mess than anything. And the one thing I thought that was so funny is I had made a comment, I think last week about like, Kristina possibly taking over the business. Like the whole thing is we know Sunny wants to retire. It looks like they're gearing up again for maybe like the last mob war that Sunny will be guiding Port Charles through. Because we didn't even think that there would be a mob war. We really thought there would be like, I don't know, like Sidwell would just take over. He was going to sell his peers and then that would go badly. And then somehow they'll get somebody else in, and that's how we thought there would be like some kind of Sunny successor. But it looks like, a last hurrah, last mob war. And, obviously with the way Kristina has been, like we thought, okay, yeah, like all that stuff that's gonna happen is like gonna harden her. And we're like, she's probably gonna like try to kill Ava. She did, but it was sloppy and she's ill prepared for her future. And so a lot of people just felt like, well, not Kristina, like look at her, she's not ready. And I said, well, you know what? We don't know when that's going to happen, but she has to go through some kind of transformation and training. And I'm laughing because as I'm watching this whole week, notice how many times she's like, look, I'm not impulsive. I'm vengeful. Look, I bit my tongue. I could think about future consequences. And they keep highlighting her ability to manage her impulsivity. And I think that's like a super funny way of like, hi, we're watching her transformation.
Tune in.
That's it. Everybody. I really think so. Because, like, I mean, it is interesting, right? Like, who is going to take over? And we had, I don't know, like, maybe I should write about this a bit more. But we had talked about the future being female in terms of the mob, like what that's going to look like. The idea of a Miss Wu, Ava, and Kristina. But it's like, I feel differently. I still feel the same on those names. But I feel like... yeah, I can see it more. Because Miss Wu left, but Sunny and Jason don't for a second believe she would go after them. She's been such a strong ally in the past and someone that they might trust to, let's say, be an ally to Kristina as she takes the reins. And someone they could trust to continue their relationship and continue to kind of like take care of each other. And with this whole money situation with Ava, like I kind of wonder if her life in general would kind of lead her back to that if money becomes an issue or like her hand is forced. Like we don't know where things are going to end up. Her and Rick are fighting. There's obviously legal stuff at play here.
Yes.
So I don't know what could happen, but I could see how possibly this might be her avenue back maybe to the mob and still having those three, but just in time. I don't know like the time frame, but I could see those people coming back into those roles, even though they hint at like, Gio, because it's Sunny's grandson. So what did you think about his conversation with Carly?
He's actually asking questions and not just sulking and retreating back to Emma's apartment while she flirts with everybody. I loved how Carly answered those questions as well, because she was very honest and open about both sides and that you love him, but it comes with consequences.
Because I don't know how I would have answered that question. So I'm like, what do you say to him? But I loved the example she used. She said his own sons have wrestled with the same questions you have. So I'm like, wow, that's a pretty good angle. And he said, I'm going to go talk to his son. And I'm like, oh my gosh, is it Dante or Michael? But it was obviously Michael. And they didn't get to have that conversation. He did end up going to see Sunny. So I think, that's all being confirmed. And it was just so crazy having Sunny be like, you got to listen to Tracy. Like, her delivery is off, but she's not wrong.
I loved that moment between them when he actually used the word grandpa and he laid it out for him in a real way. And you saw how much it hurt both of them to have this conversation, but that it was just a for now thing. Like, it was really impactful.
But do you see how much he recognizes Sunny as family? He called him grandpa. And even the weeks we weren't podcasting and Tracy went to go talk to him, notice how he like disowned the Quartermains, but like aligns himself with Sunny and sees Sunny as his family. Sound familiar?
Yeah, totally does. And he's wearing a lot of black
Yeah,
when he's not wearing a shirt.
he literally wore like the Jason uniform a week or two ago when he went for
He
coffee with
did.
Emma.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you see that, and like when you look at old clips, it's funny because when you see like Jason around the era where he starts to work for Sunny, they resemble a little.
Yeah, they do. Oh my
And
gosh.
Jason was young, he was in his 20s when he started working for Sunny, and they are kind of, I just think it's a misdirection basically, because
I
I
do
look
too.
at that and I definitely see a lot of the similarities, but Jason didn't have anything, like Geo is like Jason light, he's like the only thing they can relate to is disowning the Quartermains, and again, that's temporarily. I don't see how Geo's not going to come around. Everyone's confident, and I don't see him getting into the life. Like, remember when Michael was adamant about getting into the life, and they were
Mm-hmm.
adamant that that was never going to happen, and it never did. And that's what made me realize, okay, so they're painting these really cute comparisons. Like, think about it. Geo's with Emma,
Yes.
so that's like the Jason Quartermain
Yes.
sort of, and then you have like the Jocelyn. Like, it's all very reminiscent,
Well,
that
it's like the
Robin,
Emma is exactly. You read my mind.
that like she, it's when I was watching the old clips, because I had written something, it's like it's almost the way that Emma feels about Joss, like it's in her DNA. And then when I found all
Right?
these old clips, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so true. Like, again, Robin had this one way of viewing Carly. And I know that, I watched, when they were both on, but rewatching it now is so interesting because I was looking for, some Jason clips. Like, I was trying to find scenes to parallel, like, where Geo is now and where Jason was, but I couldn't really pick one. But when I was rewatching all of those scenes, I'm like, I see. Because, like, Robin was the center of Jason and Sunny's world.
Yes. Yes.
Like she had Jason and they were dating, and I saw the earlier scenes where, he had lost his memory and they struck up like a friendship, and then he was very bold. So you know how he said recently, like, oh, I used to be really aggressive. We're all like, no. But when I see all the old clips, I'm like, yeah, 100%, no self-control. Whereas now
Really?
we're used to seeing calm Jason, but if you go
Yes.
back and watch a lot of that early time, and he's very like forward. He's like, "Oh, so you used to like me, and you used to have a crush on me." She's like, "Well, I didn't think you'd ever look at me, so I wouldn't do anything about it." But like now, like the Jason Quartermain, now that he was Jason Morgan, he was paying attention to her, so she had a crush on him before. And then this new version of him gave her the time of day, and they bonded. And then you see their whole life. Like, you even have scenes where she's like yelling at Mac and all these people defending Sunny, defending Jason. Like, what lie has Sunny ever told? And I'm like, okay. And you're watching that, and I'm like, yeah, I could totally see why you would hate Carly disrupting, because it was like this beautiful bubble they had. It was just them hanging out, living together, literally. And then Carly slowly came in, and while there was so much animosity with like Sunny and Carly, eventually he came to care for her. Again, loyalty, that's how you see it. It's like you watch how Carly, kind of understood their world, or would basically lie or do anything for them because they didn't have anything else. Like, you see that. Robin had a life, Elizabeth, all those people, they had a life. Like, Carly didn't. She had no one.
Yeah.
So for her, that was her family, and that's who she would do anything for, because there was literally no one else. So it's so funny when you go back and you watch all of that stuff and you can kind of see it. So it's like when you're watching it now, you're like, oh, okay, like Geo plays that like little Jason role, and you have Emma definitely carrying on like her mom's grudge toward Carly through Joss. And it's like so fun to see like all those comparisons. I know a lot of people might feel like, oh, it's repeated storylines, but I think it's so cool because it's basically the kids' commentary. Like, if you look at, for instance, like Carly's choices, right? She kept Michael from AJ. But
Yes.
and Michael acted out. Like, we saw what happened, you know what I mean? The consequence of that choice that her and Jason fought for. And then you have Michael today, who has a kid, who's literally telling his mom, yeah, I think I'm gonna like do what you did. I'm gonna enact the AJ plan. And she's like, I don't know about that choice that I made. It's so weird, right? Because we're revisiting a storyline in its aftermath. And it's funny because when you have Carly, you have Michael, who's finally coming around. He rebelled against so many choices, and he's finally coming around, understanding why Carly made some of the choices she made, because he's in a position where he's willing to make similar ones. Whereas you have Jocelyn, who is this mirror being like, you made terrible choices. don't understand you. And it's just so funny watching all of that this way, because I do feel like when you have these storylines happening or people feel that they're recycled generationally, it's honestly like a commentary on the original storyline through a today's lens or through the lens of their kids. It's through a different perspective. So I definitely think that that's interesting. So I just feel that knowing how much Michael is like Jason and he never went into the mob, I don't think Gio can. And if we have like a Kristina taking over, like I don't see Dante doing it. I would have liked that, honestly. It would have been really cool. But I don't see like multiple family members doing this, right? And I feel like the best representative of the Jason and Sunny dynamic is Jocelyn and Kristina. And it's interesting because when the fire happened, Jocelyn says, "Oh, we're not close anymore, me and Kristina." And I'm like, dude, you called her like your sister a year ago and she fell out of a window.
I know. What happened?
So I find that interesting, and the fact that they made a point of saying that, because I know that like Joss is Jax's daughter, but I cannot see Jocelyn pursuing Kristina and having that kind of rivalry. Like I definitely see like whatever she perceives as we're not close anymore. I could maybe see like that gap being bridged, because no better Jason would be a Joss. And Christina's not going to have her nephew work for her. Like, he's a freaking violinist. Like, how are you going to help me? You know?
Exactly.
And like Jocelyn, it wouldn't have made sense before the WSB. Like, how on earth and why would Jocelyn ever be a Jason? But she's being trained to be one right now.
Exactly.
And I just think that they would be the perfect one. So as much as I thought it was so cool watching these like Geo Jason comparisons, he won't be in that world, I don't think.
I don't think so either. I do believe it's a misdirection. You know, he's still lost, trying to find his way, making connections with his family. Or maybe if he even attempts to, that's when he gets connected to other people in his family, trying to make sure that he doesn't, like, no, it's not going to happen any other way.
No, you know who's also super lost? Kai. He doesn't understand why what he did could lead to losing Trina. And I love it. He's so idealistic. He's like, I heard a thing that was true. And because I know it's true, telling the truth is the right thing. And I'm laughing because between these storylines and all the old clips I'm watching, because I even posted a comparison of Emma and Robin. And I don't even know if I included, but there's Robin says in that fight with Jason, I was just telling the truth. And I'm laughing because Kai used that line, Lulu uses that line, everyone uses that line. I was just telling the truth. And it's just like, it's not that simple. But you know what I felt about Trina in that moment that made it so fascinating for me?
Tell me.
That girl was Ava fierce. The way when she was like, get out.
Yes,
that was Ava fierce. And also this part, given Trina's history, okay, and she had the tendency to be a little self-righteous, a little like, Spencer, be a better person, Spencer, you know, do the right thing. And now she's dating this goody that's at the extreme of doing the good thing. And at this point, I'm sure she's desperate for somebody in the gray willing to bend the rules for her. So it's just funny for Trina's journey to be with the goody because she's usually the goody in a relationship.
That's so true. I really love that perspective. And when you're talking about the way that Kai is, I'm like, it's a good thing Dawn of Day isn't there, because they'd have a lot of people. They'd have Lulu, they'd have Kai,
oh my gosh,
they'd have all of these new followers.
So many new followers. Okay, it's clearly on, but just how long? How long before Anna figures it out? Because she gave like weird look. Like she literally got caught in a drama storm. She tried to start some drama. Vaughn tried to leave. I knew immediately he was calling Joss, but I'm like,
yes,
what's happening? And Anna like pointed out something really interesting because she's like, you're using him because he's maintenance for like access to the lab. I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't even think about the fact that Emma was trying to use Vaughn when they were trying to use her.
Yeah.
And how easy it was to manipulate her by faking that breakup. But now Vaughn is like, okay, we need new reasons to make out. I think this could be one, because I have to not be around Anna. And maybe I should have thought of that before I tried dating, you know, the commissioner's daughter. I don't understand this like little plan reversal. It's kind of funny. But whatever logic that they came up with completely went out the window.
Oh my gosh, completely. None of it worked. It's a giant fail. I just love Anna's, like, I'm talking about his age. Really, you could see her like taking a photograph with her mind of all of his features and where he goes to school and where he works. Like, I am actually looking forward to her kind of messing things up for Brennan.
She absolutely will. And I mean, honestly, because Emma is also going to fumble things. She stole Vaughn's master key.
Yep.
Okay. So basically, the WSB has Anna and Emma just annoying the crap out of them, causing problems in the mission. And I'm guessing this is where Jason gets pulled in a little bit more. Do you think it's going to be a double reveal? Like, meaning, like, Anna and Jason will find out at the same time who Joss is, or like an Anna first? I hope it's both of them at the same time. I really don't want that, like, Jason, I have something to tell you.
No, I would prefer both at the same time, but with Jason in the lead.
I don't.
You know what I mean?
I don't know. Of course, I don't know what Jason's going to do. I don't know what Jason's going to do because already, you know, like, look how he runs to take care of, like, Michael.
Yeah.
And now they're back on this thing about two different threats. Because for me, we've seen more of Sidwell.
Yeah.
So we're just like, yeah, it's all Sidwell. Like, Sidwell's just bombing everybody. You know, like that's how we see it. He's like, fire is his thing. It doesn't matter what form. But they're now, like, back to it's two people. And Pikeman's gone. And I don't know, my only other guess was that Brennan, you know? So Carly would be mad that Joss got roped into the WSB, but maybe also mad if it turns out he was really just using her to get to Sunny.
Ooh, there's so many layers to that.
Well, is it that, or is there just another... Like, is it, like, I mean, I know we always do this every time Morgan's name's brought up, but Carly said his name multiple times in one scene, and it made me think, is that the other enemy? I don't know. I'm just missing him because I just finished Good Trouble, everybody. It was really good, and now I'm continuing to watch The Foster, so it's hilarious. So I'm basically watching, like, the original show, and it's so cool because I already watched Good Trouble, so now it's like the backstory, and you get to understand everything. It's so good.
Love that.
I'm loving both shows. It was really fun that I watched at the same time. Again, sort of by accident, just not really realizing what was going on, but I absolutely enjoyed the show and loved watching Morgan on it. So he's more towards the end of the season. So, like, I finished that. It makes me sad. So now I'm just thinking about Morgan even more. But I think he's promoting another project that's coming out. But either way, I don't know. My guess is that the other enemy is the WSB.
Yes, it has to be. So that will bring Jason and Carly together. We'll figure out the whole Jens thing because he doesn't really go after him in any real way. So there's a lot of weird stuff going on there.
Well, I don't know if Carly really reached Sunny because they already were like, yeah, an eye for an eye. Sorry, Marco. Like, they were already there. Feel so bad for Lucas. I love that Marco stood up to Ezra.
That man, it does such a good job at being unbelievably irritating.
I can't tolerate him. I mean, I know how he feels about Sunny, obviously, from his perspective, his character, but I'm like, but Laura's great, though. And Lucas should have told him that Laura is great. And I'm so sick of this. And so we're still guessing on Sunny's successors. I think it'll be Kristina. I'm hoping Joss will be her second, because those two would again, like I said, it's the same dynamic, and Joss will rein Kristina in. But I feel, not that I know what this downfall or if this downfall is ever going to happen, but I could see, like, you see that Sunny and Laura are partners and they won't stop picturing them together. So, like, I could see Sunny taking on a mayoral role and Laura in, like, Congress.
Yes, I would love that.
It's painful right now. You know what I mean? Just Drew in general. I'm hoping Michael, because, like, I mean, Curtis is all out of ideas, and I'm hoping that Michael can have some ideas. I mean, I hope he doesn't have Nina ideas, because Nina's idea is maybe something will happen. And she got her wish. Something did happen. Now that she is actively parenting her daughter, she's gone full Nelle. So we have answers on so many fronts. Because, like, she's not, like, she knows what she did. It's not like she said she was stuck in traffic and then went to see Nina. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what I did. I was, like, in a fugue state. She was like, no. Like, I went to go hold Daisy. And I'm, like, reminiscing sometimes, like, right across from your face about what I did to Daisy, trying to drive Sasha crazy. When she was like, because your mama betrayed me. I'm like, what did this girl ever do? I'm like, oh, right. She got pregnant by her husband, but still. You started it.
She started it, and they weren't. Yeah, she had already full blown was in love and fallen under the spell. And I'm sure everybody's feeling the same thing. I'm like, come on, man. You have security guards. You can't put cameras in the room. Michael's excuse was, well, a camera caught, my wife having an affair. But I'm like, okay, that's great though, but it's good for
She's not
safety.
there anymore.
Exactly. Thank you very much.
Hopefully she's not going to come back and just sleep with more people from your house. Could you imagine? That would be the worst breakup. I'd be like, stop it. Stop that. But like, no, I actually appreciated that logistics corner moment where they gave some explanation. And I was really worried because like immediately Chase is like, what are you gonna do, Michael? He's like, I will do whatever I have to do. And I'm like, what? And then it's like, whatever I have to do is whatever Sasha wants me to do. And I'll just support her. And I'm like, thankfully that's all that it is. But I hope that Sasha's not gonna be gone for long. And I really hope that he means, and I think that he does believe her, and I'm glad, and I'm just really upset at Cody. Like, you literally pulled her out of that institution. You investigated, you believed in her. Like, this is not a light thing, and of all people, like, I just wish that he showed her a little bit more consideration, and, because at least Michael did. Okay, if what you're saying is true, this is what this means.
Yes.
Anyways, so
I just wish they had, I mean, not to say put Daisy in a place where she's going to get kidnapped, but stay close by, put in a camera, see what's actually going on. Because how did their brain not go to Willow and Drew?
I mean, I guess it just seems so psychotic. You know what I mean? Like, like we talk about different kinds of villains, right? You have people you argue with and you don't like, but you never think they're going to cross over into that kind of line. I just don't know how long that secret will stay hidden, right? Because this is like her thing. Like, she has so many feelings, and this is something that makes Willow feel like in control. So so she's definitely gonna go to do it again, and I don't know what this is gonna mean. I don't know who the first person is to figure this out. Like, if you're willing to send Sasha away because you actually believe there's a threat, it means, yeah, you might beef up security, you might add cameras, and maybe you're gonna catch Willow, and what's gonna happen with that? Like, I don't know how long that secret could go on for.
Right.
But it's scary.
It is scary because, like, we still don't have the secret that came out about the fact when she visited Germany that it was Drew that paid off that person at the front desk. So there's a lot of weird things going on. What's going to happen with this whole marriage? Like, when is everything going to just kind of explode when it comes to Willow?
At her wedding?
Like, I hope so.
I mean, that would be the benchmark, but I hear what you're saying, though, because you're like, okay, but there's this new thing, and we don't know about her, the Nina and Drew. We don't know about, like, you know, just who Drew is generally, right? Like, getting a glimpse of that version of him, but the guy who at the very least paid off that person so you couldn't see Michael. So, yeah, like, I think it really is confusing because we're adding on another mystery, like another phase of like Willow's demise, if you will, and this supposed wedding. So I don't actually know what, like, if how reveals are going to come to play a role, because I feel like she's so far gone.
She's far gone and Drew's back on the top, and I'm not happy about any of it.
I mean, the only thing that's flashing in my face, also because I looked it up, I'm thinking about when Carly shot Tony Jones in open court. You know, I can see Willow doing that, but to Drew at the wedding, like at the altar, but I don't know what would happen. And how would she have access to a gun? You know, like, is it that, like, I know. She's there at the altar. She finds out what he did. So the secrets about Germany, the secrets between him and Nina. And, like, and then all of a sudden the cops come in because they're going to arrest her because they actually have proof of, like, whatever she did to Daisy. And then when they're trying to arrest her while she's in turmoil, she grabs a gun and then shoots Drew.
Okay, like, I need that to play, like, I have goosebumps. Like, I need that to play out exactly the way you said it.
It's the only way this could all make sense for me. So, I
feel like we've had to.
Yeah, I think so. I'm like, whatever I think I'm remembering, I'm not.
I know, so, that was your note.
Don't worry.
Shove it back down.
I shoved it back down. I've learned my lesson.
Oh, do you have any favorite lines for this week?
Do I have any favorite lines for this week? Okay. I don't know if I wrote the line down, but it has to be, yeah, it's Lucas and Carly. So Carly is going at Willow. That's also why I think, like, in terms of the loony stuff, I don't know what it means that Carly went to go have that conversation with Willow, because it's like, needed, not needed, unless that scene is really just to fuel Willow's crazy. But you
Yeah,
can't help parallel, Nell's fixation to Carly specifically.
true,
And you know
true.
what I mean? So I'm like, I'm not sure what that means. But then Lucas comes up and he's like, okay, Carly, come here. I called you and not for this. He's like, I can't stand her. And he's like, I know, can't stand her, can't stand her. Come over here. We'll talk about that later. So it's just,
It's cute.
those two, like the comedy between them is my absolute favorite. Like it's a toss up between that from my cutie pie moment or Mac trying
Oh
to
my
get.
word, Mac, I love him. That was so cheesy, Dad.
I'm laughing because it's like, he's had to deal with like Maxie and like Zakara and
Yeah.
Lecky and like he hated Spinelli, which beyond me considering her past. Robin, like Jason for years he had to deal
Yeah.
with Jason. And now it's just so funny watching him like excited about one of his kids' dating life because he's never been excited. I'm pretty sure he even had a problem when Georgie was dating Dylan. It was Dylan. Like, what's Dylan? And so it's just funny to me when he's like basically trying to get Molly to marry Cody, being like, be in our family. I really like you. We could use another cop. You belong to us. It's cute.
Stinking cute. Yes, that was definitely one of my favorite moments. And honestly, the moment, some Rocco moments. So Rocco and Jason and Rocco writing that email to Oprah.
Oh my gosh, that was amazing. I'm like, you have her email?
Look at you.
Oh
You
my
get
gosh.
internet.
So many stars. So definitely start a Rocco. I'm actually excited for his like storyline.
Me too.
I'm giving a star to Trina for her Ava moment.
Yes.
Loved it. Lucas and Carly, super funny together. I don't want to do this, but I kind of have to. Like, Portia did some kind of weird magic where she's doing things that I'm like, that's interesting. And it's confusing me. So I'm giving a star to Portia, Sasha. Like, how do you give a weird star to Rick? Like, whatever
You
Rick
can
is
give him a
doing,
weird
it's
one. He's doing
bad,
weird stuff.
but it's entertaining. So I'm going to give him an entertainment star.
Love it.
Kristina Alexis moment. Taken aback, but I don't hate it. Just embrace Kristina and embrace yourself as a mess and just embrace the situation.
I'm gonna give Nina. I'm gonna do a face acting star for her because when she had her moment with Willow and Willow was talking about how much she missed Drew being out of town, Nina's face was the best.
I know. I'm like, Willow, I guess you have to be Delulu. Otherwise, like, you just won't have anybody. And also, I'm like, who are you inviting to this wedding?
Well, Kai, because she like made out with Drew in front of him, and they're like besties now, and so Kai will be their witness.
Ew.
Yeah,
Ew.
totally.
But he's all about the truth, and it kind of sucks though because it's like Portia broke the law like so many times.
So many.
Any other stars? Geo? Well, I'll give Geo a star. I will.
I'll give Geo a little star, a little Geo star.
Yeah. He's still angry though. I think he'll be calm by Christmas.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, folks, we're back. That was fun. I can't wait to see what happens next week. And that's a wrap. Have a fantastic weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.